Hey folks, my name is Henrik Kuto. I'm the director of films such as Babysitter Massacre and Alone in the Ghost House, and you are watching Mr. Tony of the Dead.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Mr. Tony of the Dead here, and I have another Blu-ray and DVD video reviews for everybody out there. And the first one I'm going to take a look at here is Harpoon, and this is from Epic Pictures and Dread Central Presents, and this is number 21 if you're keeping track of the numbers. And this is written and directed by Rob Grant, and what this is about, it follows these three friends who are stranded in the middle of the ocean on a yacht, and they're running out of food, and they have hardly any water and all this stuff. It's supposed to be a day trip, and the reason they're out there is because one of the friends is like this rich guy. He has 6 figures in the bank, all because of his father, and he likes to treat his friends to things, and he also has a bit of a temper. He throws fits of rage a lot, and he kind of came across this text from his friend, who is also his guy friend and also his girlfriend, and he thinks something's going on with them. So he confronts the friend about it with fists, and here they're like, no, it's not about that, it's about this gift we got you, this harpoon gun, spear gun, and so it goes from there. So he's kind of trying to make up for it, and they go out on the yacht to make up for it and to have a day just enjoyment and all that kind of stuff. And while they're out there, like I said, they get stranded, and the yacht don't work. Tempers flare, and things happen, and the truth of many things start to come out while they're out there. Basically, starting to die, because it goes for days and days, and things just get worse and worse and worse for them. And this was a really, really cool movie, I gotta say. It was narrated by Brett Gelman, who I'm sure a lot of people nowadays probably know. He was one of the doctors, or not the doctor, he was kind of like the town nut on Stranger Things, and he's been in a lot of things like recently. I can't, off the top of my head, I think he was in Love, the show Love on Netflix. He's been in a lot of things, and he's just, every time he's on the screen, I really like to see him. Or I like his character. He wasn't on the screen with this, but he narrates it, and he does a really great job narrating it, because it's kind of comical at times. So he's kind of narrating the life of them, and it's really cool. And I thought maybe you'd see him later on, but you don't. But he's narrating their life, and it's very cool how everything unravels and the way they did things with this, especially the setting, when they could pull off a whole movie in one setting, on a boat. And the way you could see days are going by and how they're deteriorating, they're basically dying, they run out of water, and they tell this story about I believe it was Edgar Allan Poe. I think it was Edgar Allan Poe, or something like that, telling a story about guys on a raft, what they had to do, and then a recent. I don't want to say about it, but it was very interesting how this story is kind of like those. And the ending was very cool, very well deserved, if I do say so, myself. But very cool. I really, really, surprisingly, really enjoyed this movie. And I guess probably my favorite character was Richard. Honestly, can't really remember the other one's names off the top of my head, but Richard, the rich guy. If that was even his name. Now I'm blanking on I'm thinking, is that right? But I liked the rich kid the most. He was likable, but yet he was really an asshole. But it was just he played a great character, and everybody played a great character, especially the things that happened with them and how things went about. It was just very cool. I definitely say watch this movie. It's pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. There's behind the scenes featurette, deleted scenes, B-roll footage, trailers, the director, psychedelic audio commentary, trailers, and more on here. So there's a lot of good stuff. I would definitely say check this one out. It looked good, sounded good, and the ocean around them, it's a beautiful, beautiful background. Really nice boat, and they basically throw everything off it. I'm not gonna say why, but they throw everything off of it. So they really don't have anything on this boat, and it's just you start thinking to yourself, what if this was you? You know, if you were trapped in a situation, what would you do? And it's pretty crazy, you know, to think what unravels and stuff that goes on in here. But yeah, definitely a really cool movie. You know, and it's kind of has some comical moments, but it's not like a comedy. It's like more a dark comedy. And they keep going back to like saying harpoon, and they say spear gun. You know, something like that, like a little comical moment, or like they'll like certain things they do in the movie, and then like they look at each other like, "What are you doing?" You know, stuff like that. So yeah, it was pretty cool. And then on the inside here, you just have the DVD, and it is region free. Or, I'm sorry, the Blu-ray, and it is region free, but it has the cover on there. I really like this cover too. Pretty cool. You know, and then the title screen has that too, and it has like a very cool soundtrack as well. I thought it was going to be like kind of 80s-ish in a way, maybe early 90s, but it's not. But it has a feel to it. I don't know. It doesn't feel like the 80s or anything. It feels more like now, but the music gives it a certain vibe to it, and it's not like the music's like that throughout the whole time, but it's just cool background music. I just thought, you know, it caught my ear, and I really liked it. So yeah, I definitely say check this movie out, Harpoon. I enjoyed it a lot. So yeah, that's Harpoon, spear gun. Next up I have here on Blu-ray from the Warner Brothers Archive Collection is Judgment Night, and this is directed by Stephen Hopkins. And what this is about, it's about this group of friends who, you know, they kind of like live in the suburbs and everything, and the one friend gets this like big, like kind of RV kind of thing, and they're gonna go and watch this boxing match, and they're on their way into the city, and what happens is they get traffic, so he decides, I'm not gonna miss this thing, so he takes a road off, you know, a street off to the side, and he starts going through this like abandoned part of town and stuff, like, you know, it's like really scary going through there. There's like nothing, abandoned buildings. It's like kind of scary, and they accidentally hit somebody, and when they bring him on board, they realize he's been shot, and then sure enough, the people that shot him got caught up to them, and then they witness those people murdering this person. So now those people are after them for seeing them, says no witnesses. So this is Denis Leary and his crew. They start going after Emilio Estevez, and also Cuba Gooding Jr., Stephen Dorff, and Jeremy Piven. They're all in like this group together, and they all, you know, like I said, they're all going to the game, and to the fight, and now they're getting chased by Denis Leary's. It's not really Denis Leary isn't playing Denis Leary, but it's the guy Denis Leary is playing. It's his, you know, gang they're going up against, and they're going through this deserted part of the town. It's not really deserted, but it's really run down, and like it's abandoned, and it's like pretty bad. But so they're being chased through this movie the whole time, and you know, I'm watching this movie. I haven't seen this in a long time. It's from 1993, and I'm watching the movie, and I remember liking it a lot, and I still really like it. There are some things that don't still hold up. Like I thought back in the day, like, oh, that RV is really, really cool looking, and it's still pretty neat. It's just the things inside are kind of dated. The stereo's dated, and the TV's dated. There's a fax machine in there, stuff like that, and it looks a little small. This RV. It'd still be cool to go in. It just doesn't. It's not as modern like nowadays. They probably have wider ones and like things that can do all this other kind of shit. But it was still, you know, it looked dated to me, and not that I wouldn't want one, but it just like it was dated. So like there was that, and there was a Nintendo in there, which was cool, but again, dated, you know. Not, and again, I would probably put a Nintendo in there, but nowadays you'd probably find PlayStation 4s and like, you know, big screen TVs that drop down from the ceiling and stuff like that. So again, it's a movie. But watching this, I didn't remember the soundtrack to this, and you know, watching it, I'm thinking, like, God, this sounds like The Predator. It sounds like the music from The Predator. Like, and I had to look it up. And I usually don't like to look on IMDb while I'm watching a movie, because in case spoilers, sometimes there's like, you're looking up the movie and there's like the ending scene or something. Even though I saw this before, but like, you know, I couldn't remember how this ended at the time, so I didn't want to look it up. But I was like, I have to look up at who did the music for this. And sure enough, the guy that did the music for this also did Predator 2. And it's, I love, you know, the Predator franchise, but it was just incredibly. It was the Predator music, like the drums, and then like they're technically running through another jungle. They're running through Chicago, so it is a jungle, but it's a different type of jungle. It's a concrete jungle. PlayStation 2 Xbox reference to Predator Concrete Jungle video game. So I think because of my love for Predator, it made me really love the soundtrack even more. But I just can't help but think, like, wow, that was so much like the Predator. Like, he didn't. It was almost like if you just took the music from this, or even actually if you took it from Predator and put it in this, or vice versa, it would just match up. Like, it doesn't even matter. You know, it doesn't even matter because it's just so eerily similar to like the Predator music. But you know, I'm not sure which one came first. I want to say Predator. I know Predator came first, but I'm pretty sure Predator 2 maybe was after this. But I don't know. He might have recycled the music for that to this. But either way, it's just like it. I don't know. I didn't look that up, but like the guy who did the music, he didn't go too far away from the original stuff. But yeah, I really like this movie a lot, and I thought this looked really good, and I thought it sounded good, and I still really liked it. Again, this is another one of those, like, if you were in this situation, what would you do? And I think I would fight back probably sooner than later. I probably would try to run, but you know, it's tough to say because I hope to never be in a situation like this. But yeah, Denis Leary has a great part in this. You know, he is known, especially back then in the 90s, early 90s. He was like, you know, the asshole song. You know, I'm an asshole. So he's like, it's Denis Leary. It's like, wow, he's not too funny. He has like funny lines, but they're like kind of like evil funny in a way. Like he's not trying to be funny. You know what I mean? And you know, and his crew was pretty cool. Especially one guy in the crew was also in House of Pain, which I looked up, and he hasn't really been in anything else. Like, he's been in other things, but really since then he hasn't been in much. So I'd like to see the guy from House of Pain be in another kind of movie like this. And I can't remember his name, but it would have been cool. But yeah, there's a lot of familiar faces in this. Great cast. You know, fantastic movie. This is one that doesn't get talked about. And I don't know why. I think this is a great movie. And I always liked it, and this is one I thought, oh, if I re-watch it, is it going to still have that, you know, am I still going to like it? And it still does. I really, really still liked it. And here you have the Blu-ray on the inside and that. But yeah, I still really liked it, and I'm glad it, you know, I'm not sure if this is the first time it's on Blu-ray, but this, you know, it doesn't have anything else but the movie on it. So I would definitely say if you're looking for the upgrade from like a DVD or VHS or whatever, this is it. If you just want the movie, I think this is a very, very cool, you know, looking, you know, edition. I think it's just enough. You know, it's all you need. I think it'd be cool if another edition came out where you got some behind the scenes or something like that. But you know, if that you don't care about any of that shit, this is great. You know, and like I said, looked good and sounded good and has a lot of rewatchability. At least for me, it does. I think it's you know, holds up. It stands the test of time, except for that RV. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and you know, I'm pretty sure Cuba Gooding Jr. was one of those ones that got accused of stuff. And if he did that, that sucks, because he was a fantastic actor. Because you don't see him in anything. And I asked my wife, I said, how come you don't see him in anything anymore? And she said, I think he got accused of things. So if that's true, that fucking sucks, because, you know, not just for the girls, but, you know, we lost a fantastic actor, because he did a great job in this movie. He's great in everything I've ever seen him in. And, you know, it just sucks that he's stupid, if that's why he's not acting anymore. Again, I didn't look any of this up. You know, it's just I didn't want to. So, but if that's not true, where the hell are you, Cuba? Where's Cuba? No, but yeah. So yeah, I definitely say check out Judgment Night. It's really, really a really good movie, and I'd say check it out. And this is a great addition. So yeah, that's Judgment Night. Next up I have here another one from the Warner Brother Archive Collection is Looker, and this is written and directed by Michael Crichton and this is from 1981. And what this is about, it's about this company, and they make these commercials, and it's basically like in every commercial they have, like they could sell you anything. And there's this Beverly Hills doctor who is a plastic surgeon, and he's, you know, does these things for these girls, and these girls want things down. They have a list they bring in down to the millimeter what they want done. So he does them, and soon enough they start to be murdered. And so the cops come in and they ask him questions and stuff, and he's like kind of on the you know, they're kind of watching him to see what's going on. And then one of his more recent models that he's doing work on, she's starting to come into trouble, so he starts looking into this stuff. And here there's this company who you know, that it makes the commercials and that, and there's something more sinister behind the company in that. I can't really say a ton about this movie because I don't want to give a lot away. Because if I do it, it will spoil a lot for everybody. I know it's been out for a while, but like, this is the first time I ever watched it, and reading what it was about sounded pretty cool, and then watching it's totally like different. Not that it's a wrong synopsis on the back or anything. It's just like there's way more to it than that. But yeah, I mean, I thought the movie was pretty cool. It's very sci-fi-ish. It's kind of like the future-ish from 1981, but it's like a lot of commercials and things like that, like the models. Again, at the time, everything was, you know, plastic surgery, and it's Beverly Hills, so that's what they do. And I mean, it's not too far-fetched from nowadays, because everybody gets something done, you know, not everybody, I shouldn't say that, but a lot of people get things done all the time, and sometimes I guess it's not necessary, but I mean, whatever. And that's another thing, the doctor on here is like, I think you're perfect, why do you even want to get anything done? And she's like, well, I want like a mole removed, and I want my areola moved 5 millimeters from this way. And it's like littlest things. And you know, the whole thing behind this company is pretty scary, because it's kind of like something that could possibly even happen for real. I think Michael Crichton did a great job with this. Like the Andromeda Strain, when he did that, I wasn't a huge fan of it. I thought it was kind of boring. But this one I thought was really good. Very, very cool, kind of sci-fi-ish movie. Kind of slow at times, to be honest, but I think toward the end it picked up. And then there's this like light gun that, like, because it shows his model, and she answers the door, and she just like there's this flash that happens, and she's standing there, and then she's like, all of a sudden she comes to, and she goes, you see the flash again, and it's like there's this gun that like kind of like puts you into this hypnotic state, and kind of like leaves the person that shot the gun, that shot you with it, kind of invisible, so like you don't see them. And so there things could happen. That's one. So you don't see who's doing the murdering, but that's how they're doing the murdering. They're kind of like taking time away from them, you know, by putting them in this hypnotic state, and then making it look like they killed themselves, but they actually aren't. And the police don't think they killed themselves, but you know, they're not sure what's going on. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Like Albert Finney, James Coburn's in it. They played a good job, and the ending's kind of weird. The ending kind of goes on for a while, to be honest. Like the whole, I don't want to say what happens, but like it's kind of, in a way, it's comical, but it's only because the people watching what's going on, again, it'll explain itself if you watch the movie, are laughing, and it's kind of strange. But it's very ingenious too, because they take the models and they scan them into this computer. And so all the models and that on these commercials, all the scenery is real, and they have them all in this like facility, like kitchens and bedrooms and stuff like that. You know, anything they want to sell you, like for like toothpaste and like that. Which is funny how they did the ending with the toothpaste. I'm not gonna say what happens, but like it's funny how what is happening, and then the things they're saying with the toothpaste. It's comical, but the models aren't even real. They computer generate them in there, and they could do their voices. They could put them in however they want to do it. So the models are getting paid like $200,000 a year. 1981, that's good money. I mean, it's good money now, but like back then, whew, you know. But they getting paid $200,000 a year, and they just get scanned in and blah 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 blah, you know, just like that. And you know, shit happens. But it's pretty futuristic, and I enjoyed it. You know, I gotta say, would I watch it again? Maybe I might watch it again. I just did watch it, so I don't have the need to want to go and watch it again. But I thought it was a pretty decent watch, and I'm glad I got to see it. The songs in this are hilarious. They're not supposed to be hilarious, but I guess with my brain, like it's like very cheesy, you know, song written. I guess it's written for this movie. It's like, she's a looker, da 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 da. You know, like I can't remember the words right now, but like I have the captions on, so I'm singing with it, like karaoke or something. But yeah, and I'm not gonna do it. Don't ask. But I just thought this was a pretty decent watch, and it does have some special features on here. Introduction and commentary by Michael Crichton, deleted scenes as used in network television version, and a theatrical trailer. So there's a few things on here. So that's cool that there's some special features, and like I said, the captions. But it looked really good, and it sounded good. And I'd say, you know, if this isn't one that you've seen before, definitely take a look at it, because it's kind of scary to think maybe this could happen sometime. Again, that's very vague because I can't tell you what's going on in it completely. So, yeah, but yeah, I'd say Looker, take a look at it. Why not? Look at Looker, you know, and if you've seen this before, let me know your thought. So, yeah, that's Looker. Next up I have here from ITN Distribution is Nightmare Shark, and this is written by Griff First, because it actually doesn't say who it's directed by on the back. But yeah, written by Griff First, and what this is about, it's about this group of shark attack survivors, I should say, and they also have this nightmare of this reoccurring nightmare of sharks, and they all go to this this doctor who wants to put them on this experimental drug to kind of try and cure them of this nightmare that's going on. And while they're there, they all find out that they have the same reoccurring, you know, shark that they see in their nightmares, and they realize there's more to it than you know they know, and it just goes from there. And each one of them has like this weird nightmare that things that happen to them, like the reason that they see this shark, and you know, different backgrounds and stuff like that. And this was a Sci-Fi Channel production movie, which it doesn't mean like it's bad or anything, but I saw that and I thought, oh, okay, right away it's cheesy, and there are some cheesiness to it, but there are some pretty cool effects as well. The idea behind it is kind of just like Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare Shark, a shark in their nightmares. Again, this is stuff that they can bring stuff into their nightmares with them, stuff like that, you know. So it's kind of like based around Nightmare on Elm Street, a little bit kind of like the Dream Warriors, because there's a group of people, but again, there's the whole reason behind everything is totally different, and then the ending has a twist to it, of course. But you know, I can't really, again, I can't say too much about it without giving stuff away. What's his name? Thomas Ian Nicholas was in this, and I was excited, but you know, I don't want to say too much, but I don't want to spoil anything, but this is going to spoil it, so if you don't want to hear this, you know, don't listen. But he's the first one to die, and it kind of sucks, because I thought, oh man, you know, Rookie of the Year, no longer, you know, and that's a horrible joke, but you know, there's no more kid in King Arthur's court, I guess. Oh, God, that's another bad joke. But you know, I just got excited when I saw that he was in this, because I didn't know who the cast was, and he was the first one gone, and that sucked. But the thing behind this, like what is killing him, the shark has this. It's kind of like a Freddy shark in a way too. He kind of almost looks like he's not burnt, but he has like this weird scarring, and his teeth almost look like knives. And so it's definitely a play off Nightmare on Elm Street, and like a Freddy Krueger shark. But the way it was done is kind of cool. There's even a moment where she's in the in the bathtub, and a fin comes up, and then it goes back down, kind of like Nightmare on Elm Street with the glove come up and then it goes back down. So, you know, and I think she also cuts her leg, and I believe she cuts her leg in Nightmare on Elm Street. So, I don't know. It wasn't really, I guess you could say it's not really an original idea. Not completely, anyway. To be honest, I didn't really care for this movie as much as I thought I would. I think it went on for a little too long. I thought the ending wasn't too bad, but I kind of saw it coming. I don't know. I thought some of the effects were pretty cool, but I don't know. I just think, I don't know. I just don't know what to say about it. Like, I don't want to say anything bad, but I probably wouldn't watch this again. But I think it's looked good, and I think it sounded good, and I enjoyed certain things about it. Like the cast, I did like the cast. I thought they were a great cast of characters. There's not anybody that was really annoying to me or anything. I thought the settings was good. I thought some of the you know, locations were even pretty cool. There's a part where they're like in this desert. Some of the CGI was, of course, cheesy as hell, but not too bad. You know, it wasn't bad. Just, I think the fact that it was so ripped off from Nightmare on Elm Street, the idea at least, I think that really kind of like threw me off. But other than that, it's not that bad of a movie. You know, it's fun. You know, it's nothing to take seriously. So if you want to just sit back and watch another movie about sharks, you know, here's another one, Nightmare Shark. This is 86 minutes long, and it is not rated. And do I regret seeing it? No, I'm glad I got to see it. I think the cover is really cool. Anything with sharks like this I want to see. Even like, again, I know a lot of people might be frowned upon this as Sci-Fi Channel. I don't care. I thought it was fun, but again, the whole rip-off of Nightmare on Elm Street, kind of like, I was like, eh. But to do it with sharks, whatever. It's fun. It's a fun movie not to take seriously. I can't say that enough, I guess. But yeah, Nightmare Shark, how much would I watch of it again? I don't know. Probably wouldn't watch it again, but I don't regret seeing it. So there's that. So yeah, Nightmare Shark, and there is no special features on here or anything. It's just this, and I believe a trailer for it or something, something like that. But there's no special features. But so you get just this. So it's just a movie. Pretty cool. Cheap. I think you can get this in Walmart too. There's all, you know, all that stuff. All these movies I review, everything is, you know, below in the description box. I put where you can get it. So, you know, if you're interested in it, you can buy it down there. I get nothing for that. I'm just letting everybody know where you can get it if you're interested. So yeah, if you're interested in it, look below in the description box. And that was Nightmare Shark. Next up I have here another DVD from ITN Distribution, and that is The Music Box, and this is directed by John Reel. And what this is about, it's about this 6-year-old girl named Sophie who she becomes an orphan, and then she gets taken in by her aunt Annabelle, and they go and they kind of like move into this house for you know, just a little bit of time. They're going to live there, and while they're there they discover this like kind of like this box that's buried underground, and when they open the box there is another box inside, which is a music box. And what they don't realize is that this music box kind of it has this like spirit attached to it, and the spirit is kind of like gets friendly with Sophie, and you know, it's friendly at first, and then it starts getting worse and worse from there. And there's like this history behind it that Annabelle has to figure out, you know, the history of it, and what she can do to get rid of this ghost, you know, once and for all. And you know, I'll be honest, the movie was very slow at first. I was checking, like, how long am I watching this for? It's like 20 minutes went by. I was like, okay. And then I swear I thought it was like another hour. And then I put it on again. It was like 10 minutes. I was like, oh my God. So it was like very slow. Slow telling story at first. But then it picks up, and it's interesting. There are some cheesy looking CGI, like where they flash on the wall of the ghost on the wall. But then there are some kind of creepier moments where you see a real kid, a real, like, you know, ghost person playing the ghost, and they flash them in and out and stuff like that, or like there's like they get caught on film and it's creepy, you know, stuff like that. So that was pretty cool and creepy looking. But there was, like I said, some of the imagery, like it just looked kind of crappy. But you know, you have that. It was very fast though, so it doesn't really like ruin anything. It doesn't ruin anything at all, to be honest. But you know, the movie, again, I think at first I was like, oh, you know, this is boring as hell. I was still watching it, but it was boring. And then it picked up and it caught my attention, and I thought it was a decent watch. I thought it was a pretty good story. The little girl Sophie was mute in the beginning. She wasn't talking because of like this, what happened with her parents. And you know, I always think, like, if a kid is mute in a movie, or they probably aren't very good at acting, you know, stuff like that, or maybe they're just too young to remember their lines, something like that. And I thought that, and like, she was doing a lot of pointing and like that, and it would usually, when kids like that, and then they start talking in the movie or sometime during the movie, that's always like kind of bad acting. Like, I think there was voiceover dubbing with her, and the little girl didn't do too bad a job with acting. But I kind of hate seeing muted children all the time, and like these, like, they have a tragic event, they're mute, like, all the time in these kind of movies, and I just wonder why they do that. But there is this, like, psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever, that she sees. He's a pathologist. I don't know, a guy that helps her with her speech. Speech pathologist, is that the word? That is helping her, and while his character isn't that bad, his acting was pretty bad. The lines, the way he delivered his lines, were pretty bad. He was like I don't know. I can't even give an example of something he said. It was just like, "Is that what you want? I'll do it." Like, stuff like that. It was like very pausey and stuff. Like, it was just bad the way he delivered a lot of lines. And it wasn't just once. I noticed it a bunch of times, and it just like, ugh, I just couldn't take it anymore, you know. But his acting wasn't bad. Like, what he was doing, his movements and stuff wasn't bad. It's just when he delivered the lines, it was terrible. But other than that, and the lady who played Annabelle, her aunt, she did a really good job. She was always sad, always crying, and she was at her wit's end. She didn't know what to do. She's just like alone, and then all of a sudden she gets Sophie dumped into her life, a mute kid. And you know, I mean, this might be a spoiler, but Sophie eventually, and this happens like halfway through the movie, but Sophie eventually starts talking. And when she does talk, the first thing she says is, "You're not my mother." So, like, you know, she has all this dumped on her and all this shit's going on, and the first thing that, you know, she just wants her to talk, and the first thing she says is, "You're not my mother." So it's like, you know, it's really straining on her. You know, she just kind of wishes like it would go away. And, you know, it's just strange having, then you have this ghost, and, you know, like, what's going on in the house, and you know, there's a lot more going to this than just a ghost in the house. You know, there's a whole background story to it, and it wasn't a bad watch. I enjoyed it, to be honest, and I would probably watch this again. The music box wasn't a bad watch. There's no special features on here or anything. This came out in 2018. It's 85 minutes long. Honestly, felt a lot longer. It felt like it was like 2.5 hours long. But I will say the ending was kind of like, that's the end? That's it? Really? I feel like it could have been better. I feel like the ending could have been something different, because I feel like they did that in the movie already and it didn't work, and then they did it again and it worked. I don't know, but I just feel like the ending was kind of like, okay, whatever. So maybe there'll be another one, maybe there won't be. I don't know, maybe there is another one, to be honest. I think there might be a Music Box 2. I'm not sure. But, you know, this is Music Box 1. So, yeah, I would say, yeah, give it a try. It's not that bad. Again, this is another one that's can be found in Walmart. It's cheap. Again, I'll put in the link below where you can get it. Again, I usually say this at the end of the videos, but in case people don't make it, even if you don't make it this far, I always put a trailer for the movies in the links in the description box below. But I always say proceed with caution. There might be spoilers. I want to say with this trailer, it was like the beginning of the trailer was pretty much the ending of the movie. I'm going to say that now. So if you watch the trailer for this, wait till after the movie, because you'll see the ending. I hate when they do that, but it does it with this. But I'm just warning everybody, before you watch the trailer for this, you know, watch the movie first. I guess maybe it don't make sense to watch the trailer afterwards, but I do that sometimes. I watch a trailer after a movie, and I like to see, like, wow, that's the ending of the movie. So just warn everybody, don't watch the trailer before you see the movie. But especially don't watch the trailer right before the movie, because then that image, that's another thing, the image of the ending is, or the trailer is going to be in your brain, and you're going to be like, where's that part, where's that part, and then you realize that's the ending, you know. That sucks. They do that a lot with Hollywood movies as well. But yeah, I'd say check this one out. I enjoyed it. I'd watch it again. And so that's that. So that's The Music Box. Next up I have here on DVD from, I don't know how you say it. Is it Cinedigm? Cinedigm. But it's from Orion Pictures. And that is Anna and the Apocalypse. And this is directed by John McPhail. And what this is about, it's about this girl, and she's kind of like in the middle of this apocalypse that kind of happens. It's like, starts off the one day and everything's going normal in a normal kind of high school setting. You know, you got these kind of people and those kind of people and this kind of clique. And then the next day the zombie apocalypse happens. And, you know, the twist with this one is, though, that it is a musical. It's a zombie musical. And I did not know that going into this, to be honest. But it's a zombie musical, and Anna has her best friend, who's this guy, and there's other people who are friends. They're all kind of like get stuck together in this bowling alley, and they don't know what happened to their parents. The one girl, her parents are in Mexico. The other guy, his girlfriend, is in the high school, and all this kind of like this stuff's going on. So they want to try to find their loved ones. So they got to go across town, and this is in Scotland, I believe. And they want to go across. They have to go across town. So they have, you know, there's zombies out there. They have to get out there. And the funny thing is, at first, they don't realize what's going on, because they come outside and they're singing, and while they're singing and they're walking, all this shit starts happening behind them. People start running. There's zombies chasing them, and they're not fast zombies. They're slow ones. People are chasing them, or they're getting chased, I should say. Their people are running. All this, and she's just singing like about a new day and all this stuff. It's funny, but it's not a comedy. You know, it has funny elements to it. It also has a lot of grossness to it. Like, it's very gross. It has the horror element to it. It has the music, and the music is catchy as hell. It's fun. It's kind of like a High School Musical meets the zombie apocalypse. If you're not into musicals, you're probably not going to like this. But I don't think that's overly done with songs. I know musicals obviously have a ton of songs. This has songs, but I don't think it happens where, like, well, here's a song and then 5 minutes later there's another song. It's spanned out enough where you get the movie as well. Plus, while they're singing, cool things are happening as well. Like the one guy, he's like, when it comes to killing zombies, I'm the top of my class, and he's like, they're like killing zombies in like cool ways and stuff like that. So I think it has something for everybody. Honestly, I was completely surprised by this movie. I enjoyed the hell out of this. I thought this was so much fun. And I'll be honest, I'm kind of burnt out on zombie movies. some, I don't know, it's just like everybody tries to do something different with them. It's always kind of the same shit, and this was very, very cool. Totally surprised by this. This is obviously the DVD, but it is also on Blu-ray as well. I didn't get the Blu-ray, I got the DVD to review, but a fun cast of characters. Everybody's very likable. Great, great singing, great voices. Just so much fun. I just love the hell out of it. This has, for me, a lot of rewatchability. Now, this is around Christmas time, but I don't think you have to watch it around Christmas, because there's only kind of one song in it that is Christmassy. She kind of sings this, like, her rendition of, like, in a way, it's kind of like a, Santa Baby in a way, but it's very dirty and it's funny as hell. And I just, like, and everybody's like looking at each other because of the words she says, and like talk about Santa's sack and sitting on laps and stuff like that. It was just it's so funny, and it's in a high school play, kind of like this, like, winter kind of thing that they do. It was just a lot of fun. Everybody in the cast was a very likable, and again, at the same time, there are people that get bit that you don't want to get bit, or tragically killed, and it's sad. It also is a very sad movie at times, and especially the ending is, it's kind of it's happy, but it's sad. It's very cool. I would honestly like to see a sequel to this. I think I would like to see, I'm obviously not giving anything away what happens, but I would like to see what happens after the fact of what happens at the end of this. And that's as vague as I can be. But yeah, definitely surprised at this. I just put it in without seeing a trailer, about knowing anything about it. And the fact they started singing, I was like, what is this? And it was just cool. And the zombies look really cool in this as well. They don't hold back with the blood or the guts, decapitations. It looked really cool. And the cool thing about this too is watching the behind the scenes. The guy that originally had the idea for this, they even said that he must have watched High School Musical, and he said, I could do that, but I'm going to put zombies to it. And he made a short film called Zombie Musical. And after that, he became sick. He had some sort of cancer, and he died like a few years ago, like how many years ago it was. And he said, before he died, he wants this movie to get made. So his friends decided to honor him. They were going to make this movie, and they weren't going to make it bad or anything. And I'll be honest, I don't know them. I don't know him. I didn't know him, but I would say he's definitely he would be proud of this movie, because they did a fantastic job of honoring his memory. Because this was great. This was a great movie. I loved it. I would watch this again, like now, to be honest. I thought I had so much fun with it, and it was very cool, very catchy, and looked good, sounded good. Captions were good. So I wouldn't say you need a caption. Sometimes with when I'm watching like something from England, or another language where they have that accent, it's thick accent or something, you might need the captions, but I really don't think you need it with this. But I always watch them with it. I don't know if it's because I'm older now and I don't catch things the way I used to, but I always watched it with captions. But very good, fantastic movie. I enjoyed it a lot. It is also rated R, obviously, and it is Region 1. So just letting everybody know. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this. Highly recommend Anna and the Apocalypse. So yep, check it out. High rewatchability for me, and I think a lot of people would enjoy this. So yeah, Anna and the Apocalypse. Next up I have here from Blue Underground is the 3-disc limited edition of Two Evil Eyes, and you can see there's the lenticular cover, and this is 2 stories on here from George Romero and Dario Argento. I'm going to take this slipcover off just because of the glare. So this is 2 tales inspired by Edgar Allan Poe, and the first tale is by George Romero, and it is from the tale Edgar Allan Poe, The Facts in the Case of Mr. Valdemar. And what that's about is about this wife played by Adrienne Barbeau, and she's very conniving, and she basically married an old man for the money, and he's like kind of dying, and she's in it with this doctor who they want to put him in this hypnotic state, and she wants to get his money and everything for when he dies. And what they don't realize is that there's more that they get from beyond the grave than just, you know, his money. And it's, again, very vague description, but what goes on with that, it's kind of slow at first, to be honest. I wasn't sure, you know, what to think, because then she's like in this place by herself, and because they said like, oh, all he has to do is live for, I think it was like a few weeks, and then it would be all hers. If he dies after that, you know, it's fine. And here he ended up dying like the next day, so they were gonna like freeze him, put him in the freezer, and keep him cold, you know, so that when he does eventually, you know, when what should have been his time, it'll look like he just died. And what happens is she starts hearing a moaning, and here she's like convinced it's him. And then the other guy starts to hear it, and here they can hear him talking to them, and they're saying like, he's saying like there's people that are staring at him, and other things that are, you know, on the other side with him, and blah blah, and you know, it goes from there. It's very kind of a crazy kind of story, and the ending was very, very cool. Tom Atkins is in it as well. Very short part, or small part, but he plays a cop in it, and the ending's very, very cool. They kind of like what's that called? I can't think of the word. They talk about it earlier in the movie, and then it happens. So like pre something, but they you know, it was very cool ending. You know, but then it goes into the next story, which is Dario Argento, his rendition of The Black Cat, and Harvey Keitel plays this photographer who like mostly takes pictures of crime scenes, very horrific crime scenes and stuff like that. In fact, the first crime scene he takes a picture of, I believe, is Pit and the Pendulum. I believe it's like taken from that. And I don't really know much about Edgar Allan Poe. I just know Baltimore and The Raven, stuff like that. And John Cusack played him in a movie, but I don't know too much about him. I know he's gothic and dark, and I wish I read more, you know. But whatever. But he played like the Black Cat. Now I've reviewed movies in the past. Not that he played the Black Cat. He did Dario Argento wrote the movie The Black Cat, you know, and I know I've reviewed movies in the past of The Black Cat, like made off of this, and this is like after those, and each one of them's different. It's amazing, you know. You think like how many different stories could be, you know, how could they not be any different? This one's very different. This movie, it started off kind of slow again, and then it picks up. Harvey Keitel's character, he's likable, but he's not likable. He's kind of an asshole, especially if you don't like cruelty to animals, especially cats. You're not gonna like his character. But the ending was awesome. The ending was very, very cool. There was a strange part where he was dreaming in it, and then I was like, what the fuck is this? What is this? And then it all makes sense, you know, toward the end. But like, it was a very cool story. I think that honestly, The Black Cat was probably my favorite one. I was going into it like, oh, the first story was so much better, and then watching it, I think The Black Cat was my favorite one, especially the ending. It was just so cool. I enjoyed it a lot, but it looked really good. There was one part in the movie though, I'll be honest. Harvey Keitel's walking across the street. It didn't look that great. I don't know. But the one thing with this is, I don't know if it's just my player or what, but I put it in the player, and you could watch it in two different sounds, like audio. English 7.1, and then there's the other one, English 2.0. Now it starts it off for some reason for me in the 7.1, and when I was first watching it, and I couldn't hear anything they were saying. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this thing? So I checked the volume, or, I turned it up. Still, everything else was loud, but the voices were quiet. So then I switched it to the other English, the 2.0, and it was fine. So I don't know if it automatically puts it in that 7.1. I know I didn't bump it into that, but I've never had that happen before. I never ever changed audio on anything. I didn't bump it on the controller, so I don't know if that automatically puts it in that. So maybe it's just me. It might have just been me. But I'm just letting everybody know that if you are watching this and maybe it doesn't sound right, check your audio, because maybe it automatically puts it into 7.1. Again, it could just be me. Could have just been me. I don't know. But yeah, it looked good and sounded good after I fixed it. Figured out what was wrong. But yeah, I enjoyed this. I haven't ever seen it. I own the VHS, but I have never watched it. And I didn't even know what it was about. And this is a very cool edition. I've never owned it, like I said before. Only on VHS, never had the Blu-ray or anything. And here you could see the lenticular cover. It's a little tough to see. That's pretty cool. This is one of the better lenticular covers, I think. I mean, there's not other editions of this that have a different one, but I think this is way better than like the Maniac one that they brought out. I think this is cool. I like seeing something moving like that instead of just like little back and forth like that. And as you can see, there are a lot of extras on here. There are 3 discs, the last one being a CD with the soundtrack. But if you want to pause it now and check out everything on here, you can. And then you also have a sleeve here, and you got this side here, and then you can reverse it to this side, which I've always seen this. I believe I've seen this on a Blu-ray before. Again, I didn't own it, but I've seen that cover. I think this cover looks awesome. Of course, I'm going to keep the lenticular, but if I had to do anything, I think I'd put this one on. And here you have Disc 1 Blu-ray with the feature film, Disc 2 Blu-ray with the extras on there, and then there's a booklet you have, and underneath the booklet is the soundtrack on CD. And like I said, you get a booklet. There's not much to it, just the pictures and stuff inside about it, and then there's the chapter selections and that stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Also, this is Region A. So yeah, I thought this was a really good movie. Again, I enjoyed the Black Cat a lot more than the first one. The facts in the case of Mr. Valdemar, I did like that one a lot, but I think the ending of the Black Cat really won it for me. I thought that was oh wow, it's just like holy shit. And again, it's something I've heard of that. I've seen the Black Cat before, but it was like other movies of it. This was totally different than any of the other ones I've ever seen, and it was very, very cool. So if you haven't seen this, I would say definitely check this out. I don't know about the edition before this. Again, I haven't ever seen another edition, but I have the lenticular, and if you're into lenticular covers, if you are like I am, this is awesome, and it's a beefy edition, nice, thick, 3-disc edition here. I don't care about the soundtrack, I'll be completely honest. I will never listen to that. But it's cool that it has something. I always like something extra than just that, So it's cool that they have that. There's a lot of extras on here. Very cool edition. And I would say if you're a fan of Edgar Allan Poe, George Romero, Argento, check this out. There's a lot of stuff on here. Even if you don't like one of the stories, you probably like the other. But I enjoyed both of them. I just like one more than the other. That's usually how it goes. So, yeah, definitely check this one out. That's Two Evil Eyes. Next up I have here from Arrow Video USA is Toys Are Not for Children. And this is a film by Stanley H. Brasloff. And what this is about, it follows this girl named Jamie who kind of her father left at a young age. And she's kind of trapped, not trapped, but she's surrounded herself with these toys. Her father buys her toys throughout her life, and she kind of just stays this little girl in a way. Very innocent and daddy's little girl kind of thing. Even though he's not there, her parents got divorced, but she misses him and all that kind of stuff. So now she's grown up and she's getting married, and she still just can't seem to grow up. She still has to sleep with the doll, and she has to have her toys, and she won't even have sex with her husband on their wedding night. And he starts going what the hell. First night he can understand, it's new for them both, or for her anyway, and you know, after a while he just can't take it anymore, and things start to happen to her in a very strange kind of way, where she totally changes her personality, and I can't really give it away, but like it's she goes from night to day, and it's crazy how that happens, and it's insane. But this movie was fucked up. Like, the ending is fucked up. I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. Like, Jamie drove me crazy throughout this movie. She, like, I swear you could scream in her face and she'd just be like, well, that's okay, you know. But like, she I don't know, I wouldn't put up with the shit that she did. First off, I believe in moving in with somebody before marriage, because you get used to that. Also, I believe sex before marriage. It's fine, you want to save yourself, but there's no perfect setting. It's sex, it's messy, it's gross, it's gonna hurt. You know, if you want to wait till marriage, that's, again, this is just me, but this girl was so over the top with this shit. It was like, she drove me crazy. And not because I'm thinking like, oh, you should fuck, you know, like that or anything. It's just she the way she treated her husband, and he was very patient with her, and everything, and she just, the things she turns around on him. Of course, he's not an angel either, to be honest, but I don't know. I guess everybody has, you know, is at fault in this one, but this is like she has like this psychological trauma with her father. Her mother's kind of abusive, not beating wise, but like the way she talks to her and that. She's kind of just trapped in this childlike world in a way, and she has these fantasies as well, and it's just very strange. She's kind of like has this attraction, not attraction, but she's like daddy's girl. You know, that's what I'm gonna say, and not that he ever touched her. It's just that she's daddy's girl. No other man is daddy, and that's who she, you know, that's who she wants, in a way. It's just very strange. And her father's not there. Mother talks bad about him all the time, stuff like that. And it's just, you know, it's crazy. And then Jamie meets this girl who, when she worked Jamie also worked in a toy store. She met this lady who was coming in there for a present for her kid, and she liked her so much that they started hanging out and stuff like that. And well, that lady's in like a different kind of business, that totally different from Jamie's world, but Jamie's fascinated by the world and like what she does. So, you know, it's just, there's so much shit to this movie. But again, like I said, the ending to this movie is so fucked up. Like, it's fucked up, but it's not something you couldn't put in like Pornhub and find. I'm not gonna say, because that'll ruin the movie. But it's definitely somebody's fetish. But it's definitely holy shit kind of ending, and the reactions are like night and day. It's crazy. I'm not gonna say anything else about it, but yeah, I did like this movie. I liked it a lot. I would definitely watch this again. I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it looked good and it sounded good. Really a very surprisingly good time watching this. Like, again, she was driving me crazy, but I think it was fun. Like, in a way, it was fun. I don't know if that's the right word, but I liked it. So, yeah, there's that. And here you have the front cover here, and that is newly commissioned artwork by the Twins of Evil, the good old Twins of Evil. You can always kind of tell, even before I read that, I could tell that was the Twins of Evil. They have a certain look to their stuff, and I do like it. Not all of it, to be honest, but I do like some of it. It's very psychedelic looking, and I think this fits the movie very well. And here is the reversible one, and you get this original artwork here, like from the original times. And, you know, honestly, watching the movie, that's not that bad either. It makes sense, but I don't know which one I would put. I think this one probably fits, but this one's not that bad either. Which one would you put? And here you have the special edition contents. If you want to pause it now and check them out, you can. And here you have a Blu-ray and a booklet, and the Blu-ray is region A, B, and C. And like I said, you get a booklet. Not much to it, to be honest, but you get your contents, pictures about cast and crew, about the restoration, and there's the back. So yeah, definitely for back in the day, this is definitely a one-of-a-kind movie. There is movies kind of along the same lines of it that they talk about in like the behind the scenes that are along the lines, like I said, like this, which I haven't seen before, but you know, I could see where, you know, they're similar. But yeah, I would say check this one out. It's very cool. Again, a little slow at times, but that ending, just, you know, wow, it's just like. So yeah, that's Toys Are Not for Children. Next up I have here from Arrow Video USA is the Ringu Collection. This is a very cool box set. This is from director Hideo Nakata, and this is the Japanese version of The Ring. America has The Ring, you know, Ring 1 and 2. I'm not sure if there's a 3. I don't know for sure. I don't think there is, but I know Japan has, you know, Ringu, and that's what they call it. So there's Ringu, Ringu 2, and Ringu 0. And there's also in here, it's called Spiral, which is the sequel to Ringu, that the original sequel that they wanted to do, and that's in here as well. But what this is about, it's about this tape that they watch, and what happens is once you see this tape, you get a phone call, and on the phone call they say you're gonna die in 7 days, and then when 7 days happens, you die, and people who have seen this tape have been dying. So this journalist, somebody close to them dies like this, so she goes and investigates in this, and she sees the tape and has a week to live. So in a week she has to figure out, you know, everything behind the tape and why this is going on and all that kind of stuff, and you know, it goes from there. And then the second one kind of picks up pretty much right after the first one, so I won't say about that. But then the Ringu 0 is a origin story. So yeah, but very, very cool collection. I mean, I always love the boxes that they have with these hard cardboard boxes like this. Very, very cool. Very cool movie. I haven't seen The Ring in a long time. The Ring for in America, and I believe this as well, came out in 1998. So it's already 21 years old. And I think it holds up. I don't know which one is scarier. To be honest, I have to re-watch the American versions, but I thought this was pretty scary. I'm not sure. Again, there might be an element that's changed from the American to this, like along the supernatural type of. Again, that's like vague, but I have to re-watch it because I don't remember a lot of it. My wife watching it, she's like, "Oh yeah, I remember that happened. I remember that. I remember fingernails and stuff like that." So like, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I don't really remember that, or I do remember that." So I have to watch the American versions to kind of compare. But I really did like these. I thought they were really cool. Unfortunately, you have to read the captions the whole time. There's no voiceovers. Sometimes I prefer voiceovers. Sometimes I'd rather just read captions. But this time I kind of just wanted to like just hear them talk English, and you don't get that. You have to read it. And you know, but whatever, it is what it is. But it looked good and it sounded good, and the captions were really good, and the picture looked awesome. Again, I think this movie holds up nowadays. To be honest, you know, all of them, I should say, hold up nowadays. I thought it was a really cool story, except on here, it's a VHS tape, and while nowadays it would probably be more of a viral thing, which I'm sure they, off the top of my head, I can't think of a movie, but I'm sure they've kind of done that kind of thing where people have watched it online and then got cursed. And I know there is a movie like that, and I can't think of it, but you know, but still, it's pretty cool to think that, you know, it's scary, you know, to think about that kind of stuff. But it's really cool, and I'll show you, you know, more what this looks like inside. And here I'll show you the box here. It's just an empty box. I have them out right now, and lots of special edition contents and everything. Very cool looking box. I really, really like it. And there are all the limited edition contents. If you want to pause it now and check them out, you can. And here's the artwork for Ringu, and then it has a reversible artwork here, which is pretty scary looking. That actually says The Ring, which is kind of strange. I actually would prefer to say Ringu. And there's the Blu-ray inside, that's region A. And there's the cover for the second one, and then you reverse it, and then this side says The Ring 2. And there's the Blu-ray, and it is region A. And there's the cover for Ringu 0, and then you reverse it to this side, and there is that cover art. You also get a booklet in here. It's a very, very thick booklet. You know, it has to be for 3 movies. But, you know, you get in here lots of, you know, talks about the movie and transfer and all that kind of stuff. Cast and crew, you know, stories and pictures, you know, different interviews, stuff like that. About, like I said, about the transfer. And then the back is just a plain back. So yeah, very, very cool collection. I love it. I always love these box sets that they come out with. They do have Ringu. I'm not sure if the other ones are going to be put out single editions as well, but I know that Ringu is, if I'm even saying that right, it sounds like I'm saying it right, but I believe that it is, you know, in single editions as well. Again, I don't know if Ringu 2 or Ringu 0 is going to be put in single editions, but I know the first one is. So if you don't want the other ones and you just want the first one, or you want them separate, you don't want the whole collection like this, you know, it's up to you, but they are available like that. But yeah, so that's the Ringu collection. Definitely pretty cool, and I like it. And it's a beautiful edition, and again, this is region A. I know I said that for all of them, but I just make sure everybody knows. And I think it's a good collection, and I'd like to go back and watch the American versions and compare them and see what's the same and what's different. But I remember liking them, and I think they hold up to this day. So that's the Ringu collection. Next up I have here from Arrow Video USA is An American Werewolf in London, and this is directed by John Landis from 1981. And what this is about, it's about these 2 best friends, and they're going backpacking in the Yorkshire moors in London. And you know, they want to do this after school. They're going to do 3 months in Europe and backpack and travel and hike and all that kind of stuff. And one night they're out there and they get attacked by something, some kind of an animal, and unfortunately Jack gets killed and David lives, and David starts going through this like transformation, and you know, obviously from the title of the film you could tell what he turns into, but you know, it goes from there. And this is a classic movie, very, very cool film. I always like watching this, and I swear every time I watch this, there's something else that I missed from another time that I watched this time. Like, I felt like this was longer this time for some reason. I don't know why, but and not in a bad way. You know, it was just it looked beautiful. I was asked if I thought the transfer from like the original Blu-ray to this looked any different, and I do think it looks better. By how much, I'm not sure, but even if it's the same looking to you, there's a lot of limited edition contents on here that are well worth it. There's like a ton of shit, but like this edition is really awesome. The artwork is awesome. Everything in here is really, really cool, and the movie is great. It is a classic movie. It's like it's kind of strange too, because it's horror and there's a lot of gore, but there's also a little bit of comedy thrown in there, but not like, it's kind of darker comedy. It's not like you know, laugh out loud. Especially the way David has these like weird dreams, like these like weird like werewolf Nazis. It's like strange. Like I remember obviously this time watching and everything, but like a few times before I watched this, I forgot about them. I was like, what the fuck is that? Or like where I see an image and like where he wakes up and his like face is all like weird, and like his teeth and his eyes are, you know, like yellow, and I thought, what is that an image from? Like a while ago, and I was like, oh, that's American Werewolf in London. I don't remember that scene, but it's so quick, and you know, there's so little things like that, like the whole break-in with the Nazi werewolves, like I said, and you know, it's just crazy. Like a lot of strange shit in this movie, and really awesome practical effects. I want to say Rick Baker does some amazing effects on here, and you talk to him in the special features, just like fantastic. And to me, still to this day, one of the best werewolf transformations I've ever seen. It looks incredibly painful. And I guess that's probably how it should be. I mean, if your bones are shifting, your everything's shifting, I don't imagine that feels pleasant. So I imagine that's what it feels like. He's just sitting there reading a book, and then like he just starts screaming. He's like, "Oh, I feel like I'm on fire." And he starts ripping his clothes off, and just everything starts changing. His hand like starts growing. It's fucking awesome looking. Even in HD, it looks really cool. You know, it's a little cleaned up where you can kind of see, you know, this, you know, a little bit that it's not perfect, but the hand stretching looks awesome. Like I think it looks great. So there is actually a lot in here, and I'm going to get to it right now. I'll show everybody what's inside. First, I'll show you the front here of this box. It's like a hard cardboard box, not as thick as the Ringo collection. I mean, not as wide because there's only one movie in here, but you know, it's like the same style. And you know, the artwork is by Graham Humphreys. That is fantastic. I love that artwork. It's beautiful, beautiful artwork. One of the best ones I've ever seen from Arrow, any of their releases. I think it's amazing. And then, you know, it has that on the side. Look, very, very beautiful. And then this thing actually comes off, and on the back you have this. And if you know, if you've seen the movie, you know what that's from. Like, it's the one thing that, if he didn't ask the question, they probably would have been safe. There would have been no movie. But he asked the question, and, you know, what does that star for mean? You know, but yeah. So that's a really cool box that it comes in. And as you can see, there is a ton of limited edition contents. Even if, like I said, the picture looks the same to you, look at all those contents. It is well worth getting. And then inside on the Blu-ray, here is the sleeve, again with that artwork by Graham Humphreys. And then you can reverse it to the original artwork, which I'm sure everybody has seen before. Very cool artwork as well. You know, I think either one is great, but I think since you have the box set with this, I'm going to reverse it to this just because the box set is that. But, you know, it's up to you. And then inside the case, you get these lobby cards. There's 6 of them in here, and you got that on the cover. You know, you got that. And they all have the same front to it. They're all lobby cards. Again, same front. Ta-da! Pretty cool. Again, I guess this is better than postcards, but yeah. So that's cool. You know, I think that's a cool idea. You know, to have these, but again, to me. And there you have the Blu-ray with the original artwork on it, and it is Region A. You also get this booklet here with that artwork on. I believe this artwork was on when Walmart was putting the Blu-rays and DVDs out for Halloween one year, and they were like, some of them were glow in the dark and that, and I believe this is the artwork they used. It's funny how this is on here, but anyway, it's a very thick booklet for only one movie. This is about as thick as the Ringo collection, and that has 3 movies, and this is only 1. So it's pretty cool that they do that. But there's a lot of stuff in here, you know, interviews about the transfer. Look at that, holy shit. You know, lots of cool stuff. Cast and crew about the transfer, like I said, and then the back is blank. And inside you also get this poster with the new artwork on it, which is awesome. You know, I'm not about posters. You know, I like posters, but I have not enough space on my walls for all these posters I get. But I would proudly put this in a frame, put it up. In fact, I might. And I love this artwork so much. It's awesome that you get a poster with it. And on the back you get this one. And I'll be honest, not a fan of this artwork that much. You know, I would have rathered the original artwork that you get, like that everybody sees on the VHS tapes. But it's still cool that you get a double-sided poster. So yeah, another beautiful edition from Arrow, and another great movie that they put out. You know, this is a great edition, great movie. You know, another classic. This is another movie I think you can watch any time of year. Maybe around October. It's a special time to watch it. But it's just very cool, and you know, makes you think about, you know, walking out in the what do they call it, the moors. You know, beware the moors and beware the moon. So that's, you know, American Werewolf in London. And last, I'm going to show you a little bit here from Mill Creek Entertainment is Ultra Q and Ultraman, and this is complete series number 1 on Blu-ray and digital, and complete series number 2 on Blu-ray and digital. And the digital is, you watch them on Movie Spree. But Ultra Q is kind of like the way they talk. It's kind of strange. I had to watch a couple episodes because I never watched it before. But if you like big monsters like Godzilla, King Kong, kind of stuff like that, you're gonna definitely love this. You have to read the captions, which is fine, but it's in black and white, and this is what started it all, what started Ultraman. And there's 28 episodes on here, and it's from director E.G. Subarura. I don't know why I even bother, but it's very cool. It kind of like started up in Japan and that, and each episode is like a different monster, and it's the way they talk in the beginning. It's almost as if it's like the Twilight Zone in a way. It's kind of strange, but very, very cool. In fact, the first monster, he kind of looks like Godzilla. But it's very, very cool. I've never actually seen these before. I've heard of Ultraman, but I never watched them, and very, very cool. And of course, then that paved the way for Ultraman. But like, these are fantastic, and they are available on Steelbook as well. But if not, if you don't want the Steelbook, you get them on these. Which, Steelbooks are cool, but I'm afraid they're going to dent. I think these are beautiful, beautiful editions, and they looked awesome. And they sounded great. Lots of fun. I think fun for the whole family. It's especially. I'm not like a nerd about it. Like, I don't know every little thing about all the movie monsters throughout the years of like who everybody that Godzilla fought, or all that kind of stuff. But I really, really like watching them. I like watching the newer Godzilla movies. I like watching the old stuff. I like watching King Kong, all the stop motion stuff, anything that's like a regular size whatever, and it's like the size of a building. I love checking that stuff out. Like, it's just amazing. Like a tarantula that's like the size of a mountain. It's like the old time movies. It's just crazy to me. Like this, it's really, really cool. And like the fact that these are like these like monster kind of things, like these big creatures, it's just so cool. And it's just really cool that these are on here. And there's more editions coming out of Ultraman and that. And I want to say there's like a cartoon or something along the lines. But it's really cool, awesome franchise that they're putting out. And again, this is complete series 1 and 2. So in the next coming months, there will be series 3 and 4 and then 5 and 6 and stuff like that. But it's very, very cool. And again, you get the digital code in here, put it in on the Movie Spree. You could watch it online, on your like a Fire Stick, Roku, anywhere like that. On your phone, computer, TV, stuff like that. And all the episodes are on there for you if you're a digital person. I'm more of a physical media, but if I'm on the go and I want to watch it, there it is on my phone. So there's plus size to that as well. So that's really, really cool. And these are really nice boxes. And I'll show you the Blu-rays inside right now real quick. Alright, so you get this like thick Blu-ray case to hold all the Blu-rays. And usually, sometimes in the past, they were in like these like weird sleeves, like sometimes releases were, and these aren't. They're like in individual flaps like this. And, that's really cool. Disc 3, episodes 15 to 21. And 22 to 28 on there, so that's really cool. And then you got like this, like look at that creature, like what is that, and then this thing floating over the city. It's very, very cool, very awesome looking. You also get a booklet in here, and inside is like several different things. There's character guide, monster guide, episode guide. So like they have a listing of like the episodes and the characters and like all the separate monsters in here, and they tell you about them. So that's pretty cool too, and that they do that, like information and episode guide for Ultra Q. That's pretty cool that they do that. And here you have the Ultraman one, same kind of Blu-ray like case for it. Very cool. And you got the back here with them. Like, see, it kind of looks like and it also kind of reminds you of like the Power Rangers. If you're in, you know, going to be 40 years old in February, and I still love the Power Rangers. You know, like I watch the old stuff sometimes. You know, it's still pretty cool. You know, you got the discs here, and it's cool how each disc has a different like creature or monster on it. Very cool. And then there's artwork underneath. You can kind of see it there, but it's really neat. And then there's also the booklet. It's the information and episode guide. Same thing as before. Like the Ultra Q, it has like the you know, each episode and the character and the monster guide inside. So that's really, really cool they do that. So if you're like confused, like which one was that, and you look it up because maybe you missed it. There is this release schedule here that I will tell you that for October is Ultra Q and Ultraman. So those are out now. There's the 2 steel books and then the regular, the Blu-ray like I have. And then there's in November is Ultra 7, and that's coming in a steelbook and also the box set. So hopefully I get that, I can show everybody. And also in November is Ultraman Orb series plus the movie, and Ultraman Geed series and movie. And then there's more things coming up in spring and summer 2020. So there's like 10 more things coming out of all Ultraman things. So that is awesome. You know, I'll tell you what, Mill Creek is really fucking knocking it out of the park with this, man. I've never seen these before, and I'm just so glad that I got to see these now, because these are right up my alley. I love them. So yeah, I'd say definitely check these out and look for the ones coming up. They're really, really cool, and they're worth it. And if you're like me and you're into like the big monster kind of things, these are definitely going to be right up your alley. So yeah, Mill Creek's doing a really great job with this stuff. So yeah, that's Ultra Q and Ultraman Series 1 and Series 2. Check them out. Well, that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and follow me on any one of the social media links in the description box below. If you want to purchase any of these, I'll have links below for that as well. Also, if you're interested in the trailers, those are there as well. But like I say with everything, proceed with caution. There may be spoilers. Well, that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.